All right, guys, welcome back. Natalie Newhart here, founder of Fit Addicted Nutrition. And today what we're going to be talking about is really the number one fat storing food that everybody should be looking out for. And it's not like it's really a combination, a food combination is what I'm going to be talking about. So there's one type of food that really acts like a fat storing atomic bomb, okay, for your belly in particular. And that is the combination of carb and fat, or starch and fat, okay? So fat on its own is fine. There's nothing wrong with fat. It's just that it can very easily add up into too many calories. It's very high in calories for the very small volume of food that you get. So it tends to keep you, it doesn't fill you up as much, okay? Carbs on their own, they release a lot of insulin. So as soon as you start to eat some carbs, whether that be in the form of, it doesn't matter what form it is. If it's a clean carb or like a sugary carb, so if it's, rice or candy or, like cereal or sweet potato, it doesn't matter. A carb is a carb. It all breaks down to the same thing. And when it breaks down, your blood sugar goes up, and insulin is released to lower that blood sugar. Insulin is the thing that's responsible, that's going to cause you to store fat, okay? It as soon as insulin is released, that nutrient is going to go into the fat cell, like it's going to be stored. It's not going to or it's going to be used to go into the muscle cell to be for muscle building, okay? But the point is that insulin is a storer, okay? And so as soon as insulin is released, you go from basically being in a burning mode into a storing mode, okay? And so the combination of fat and carb is literally the worst combination that we can eat for two reasons. One, because it's going to be highest in calories. Fat and starch together is going to create the biggest calorie load, okay? And not only that, but it's also really typically difficult to stop eating those types of foods. The fat and the carb foods are the ones that taste really good. And so it can be really hard, as soon as they hit your lips, it's like you can't just have just one. All right. So those calories really add up. The second reason that fat and carb is the worst combination is because it produces the most amount of insulin. Okay. And so, carbs on their own produces insulin, okay? But when you pour fat on top of that, you really get an atomic bomb of insulin. It's like pouring gasoline on a fire, okay? And so we really want to watch out for these kind of, this combination because of these effects, both because they are high in calories. They tend to make us very difficult to control how much we eat, the portions that we eat, because they taste so damn good. And they are just a fat storing atomic bomb. Like they just will cause you to store fat because of the double, insulin response. Okay. And so what kind of foods are these? These are going to be things like, I'm going to first go over the ones that we typically already know of, and then I'm going to go into the healthier ones that you may not be aware of. So these are going to be things like peanut butter and jelly, right? So your carb and your fat, pastries, pasta with oil or cheesy sauce, pizza, ice cream, chips, right? Those are all things that we're like, duh, like we already know that kind of stuff, right? Now, what you don't really may not be thinking about is that these are also the combinations of carb and fat. And the thing is, they get the rep that they are, healthy, but they produce the same response, okay? So don't be fooled. Things like avocado toast, sandwiches, like with the bread and the mayo and, usually there's like some type of fatty sauce with the bread, and then you got your meat and cheese, but it's still that carb and fat combination, okay? Wraps, I don't care if it's a spinach healthy wrap, like how they market it, they're typically making it taste really good by adding in a lot of either oils or butters or some type of sauce to make it taste good, and then you have the carb from the wrap, okay? And then like loaded salads, things with like the croutons, and then you have the nuts and the berries and the caramelized nuts and, the dressing, like all that stuff. And it usually comes with like a side of bread or something. That's going to be a carb and fat, storing bomb. Cheese and crackers. This is one that women love to do, including me. But we love our cheese and crackers or our, our dips and stuff like that. That's going to be a fat storing atomic bomb. So just be aware that it's not always the things like this stuff. It can also be these healthier, what are considered healthier options like this. I mean, even another good one would be oatmeal, like oatmeal with some butter in it. Okay. Yes, there's nothing wrong with oatmeal, but when you add fat on top of it, you're going to get this double insulin response, plus the higher calories, plus it's going to taste really good, and it's going to skew how much you eat. Okay. And so it's not that you can't have these things anymore. It's just that you have to be aware of when you're having them and moderate how much of them you actually have. And so this is where my green, yellow, red system really comes into play, because what we have is we have a variety of days where our food intake changes. Green days are the days where we go harder in the gym or we're more active. Yellow days are where we kind of just more chill. That's where we mostly live. And then red days are where we really peace out and we just kind of do like walks and recovery type stuff. Well, on our green days, we eat more. On our yellow days, that's where we eat some, right? Kind of like just like a maintenance phase. And then on our red days, that's where we eat less. But so on our green days, that's where these kind of foods would really fit in, so that you feel like you're never deprived, okay? And you can take that edge off, right? You can, with these kind of foods, you can still enjoy yourself on the weekends. So the takeaway is, be cautious of these combinations, the carb and fat combination. And again, it's not about avoiding these foods at all. It's because we don't want to do that, right? That's going to set you up for these binges later on. We just want to moderate them and program them in on the days that it makes sense for us to do that, okay? And so there is a little bit of a strategy to that, especially if you have a period, if you're a woman with a cycle. There's definitely times where you can eat these kind of foods and will be actually less likely to store fat, and will be actually able to use this to build more muscle. And taking advantage of that timing is really super powerful, okay? And so if you want to learn how to use these green, yellow, red systems to create this balance, or if you want to learn, hey, when are the times where I would like to eat these foods and I'm less likely to store fat, definitely go check out my self-paced programs. My female hormone diet will teach you how to eat these foods during certain times of your period. And then I also have a lean body protocol that will teach you how to incorporate these kind of foods on the weekends in a way where so that you're not gaining fat and you can still enjoy these foods. Because balance is the name of the game. So definitely check out those two products using the links below. If you're somebody that knows that you really need accountability and you really want to improve your relationship with food, and you've got some habits that just aren't serving you that you can't get rid of, definitely you'll want to apply to work with me one-on-one, see if I have any spots available. And you can do that by going to www.talk2nat.com. Okay. So that's it, guys. Just be cautious of this, as something I'm always reminding my clients of. And you're going to be a lot better of putting yourself in a fat burning state once we really eliminate this combination, majority of the time, okay, and using it in the smart times on green days and during certain times of your period. All right, guys, hope you learned something. Much love to you all, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.